recording. Okay, can you see the whiteboard?
Yes.
Okay, what about my writing?
Nothing.
Nothing? Nothing?
Still.
No.
Let me do it again then. What about now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Give me seconds. Okay. Let's do this. Okay, we are talking about Kifil, a fixed form. The indicator of Kifil is he and hirek. Then what about prefix form? What do we expect?
What time?
Where?
Under the
yod.
Yes, we have pata, but yod may be replaced by other prefix pronoun like tav, aleph, and nun. So don't panic even if you are going to have another prefix pronoun, which is not the yod. Okay, this is the important thing. And actually, most of PGN in prefix form will take the secondary clue. What is it? Hirek, yod, between the second and third. Except 3F, what is it? Na ending. Where can you see the na ending? 3F, PL, and 2FPL. Are you following me? Okay. Then let's move on to imperative form. What do you expect in Hifil?
Ha.
Yes. Ha. All right. And then this one could be even together with infinitive construct. So although infinitive construct in imperative forms will take ha, generally speaking, the difference is going to be the secondary indicator, which is hirek yod. Okay, so most of the time you'll be able to see hirek yod with ha. Then you better stay with infinitive construct. But I want to encourage you to always double check your verb chart. Okay, but what is really important is when you look at the verb, then you need to know which parts of the verb chart I need to look at. Okay, so you cannot really start looking at everything from the first page and to the last one. You need to know which one is the possibility. Okay, then participle. Have you studied about this Hifil participle form?
Mem.
I don't know. It's mem, always mem, but the vowel point is different. I think PL participle was what? Shua under the mem, and then dagesh porte. But in case of Hifil participle form, you are going to have pata. I told you pata has a lot to do with he-feel stem. So having the preformative man, it's important for you to remember that, oh, might be related to participle form, but in terms of he-feel, you have to choose out of four: he-feel, ho-file, PL, poor. So then what do you need to do? You need to look at what kind of a vowel point you have. So pata indicates what? He-feel participle form. Is that clear? So this is the basic form. This is the basic form. And you need to move on to other aspect for the other weak verb. What is it? Let's deal with first first yod, and what else? In terms of he-feel, everything is he-feel. And first guttural, hello verb. Anything else? But first noon is not really that difficult because you can see assimilation, and then generally you follow the strong verb pattern. Am I right? Okay, then let's start with the first yod verb. What do you expect in a fixed form as a preformative? Of course, he and what vowel point?
Oh,
Right. So the yod used to be verb long time ago. So like the way I explained about pata, pata has a lot to do with he-feel. Likewise, the verb holem, planet holem has a lot to do with he-feel stem, first yod verb. Okay. So then this is good. And you cannot see, you can only see two remaining consonants because the yod will be replaced by verb. So in this case, it's important for you to put two circles indicating two consonants. Unlike he-feel fixed form, we have three circles, right? So that's how you are going to summarize your note, okay, the lesson. And what about then prefix form? This is what we are going to talk about it. And can you guess? In fact, ho, preformative ho should be there. Am I right? But what is the reason why we have pata here? Actually, the expected form is preformative he and then pata. So that's why it ends up having pata under the prefix pronoun while he is dropped. It's the same. The preformative he will be dropped, and then we are going to have the specific vowel points holem plane together with prefix pronoun like yod. This is it. This is the lesson that we're going to deal with today. Is that clear? And then what about then imperative form? I think we are going to talk about it later. Let's move on to first guttural. One thing that you need to remember about first guttural is what? It comes with he, and then what specific vowel point? Sego. What about hello verb? Hello verb?
째레
He with
composite 째레.
째레, right? And then composite shua.
컴포짓
Pata. Yeah, composite shua, pata. And then anything else on the hello verb? I think you need to know imperative too. What do you expect?
Comments.
Yes, comments. So we must have two and comments. So when we are expecting he and pata for the strong verb, and we can have comments. So then that stands for even imperative form together. Okay,
Yes.
that's it. And then anything else? I think these things are the most important thing. Let's, before we start our lesson, I want you to look at, let me see, the verb chart. Do you have your verb chart? Let's go to the verb chart first, to the parts of first yod verb. Now you can see that we tend to use our verb chart many times. So it's so much important for you to keep your verb chart with you. Okay, those who don't have the verb chart, I sent it to you just this morning through Facebook Messenger. So just go to your Facebook Messenger and then download it again. But I believe you can see this one too. I'm going to show you the file that I have. Can you see this?
Yes.
Right, let's do this. What do you need to do? Go to first to yod verb part. Here. Can you see it?
Yes.
Right. What about my cursor? Can you see that?
Cannot.
You cannot see it? Oh. What
Ah,
about this one?
we can see now. Yes.
All right, good. Okay, we are dealing with first yod verb in relation to Hebrew. And then it starts with a fixed form. Okay, let's deal with this. What preformative, what diagnostic do we expect? Having first yod verb in the Hebrew stem, then, as I said, the first yod verb will be replaced by holem. And then preformative he will be there. Then what do you expect? Oh, okay, then it's important. I think I want you to pay attention to this. Unlike prefix form, in case of a fix, you can see the secondary clue, which is hirek yod. Only for third person. As you can see, that 3MSG takes hirek yod. 3FSG takes hirek yod, but not second person. But again, 3CPL is taking hirek yod. Okay, this is something that you have to remember. Clear?
Yes.
In the affix form, only third person Hifil can take hiret yod. But do you remember in the prefix form, we also have the secondary clue, which is hiret yod, except na ending. So what I'm saying is in the prefix form, most of the time, most of PGN will take hiret yod. Is that clear?
Yes.
Let me move on to prefix form. As you can see here, hirek yod, hirek yod, hirek yod, hirek yod, hirek yod, hirek yod, except na ending takes, okay? Na ending takes no hirek yod, na ending. But apart from na ending, which is 3FPL, 2FPL, every PGN takes hirek yod, hirek yod. This is important. Why? Because you will be confused between 3 MSG affix form. The challenge is always 3 MSG affix form together with other forms like imperative, infinitive construct. Why? Because they tend to take the same or similar preformative. Let's move on to, okay, having whole she for 3 MSG affix form, you understand how it works. Let's go down to then imperative form. It takes whole. In the first yod verb, he feels stem. Can you see that? So whole stands for not only for 3 MSG affix, but also for imperative, but not participle, because participle tends to take preformative mem. So it's not our concern this time, but you always need to be careful between affix form, imperative, infinitive construct. Are you following me? So you need to know how to differentiate the affix form from imperative and infinitive construct. So now you can see that hoship is infinitive construct is there. Does it look familiar? In fact, as I said, imperative form hoshep. So now it's obvious the difference between 3 MSG of fixed form and then imperative second person masculine singular is hirek yod between the second and third. Now you cannot see hirek yod here, but let's go back to 3 MSG of fixed form, ho and together with hirek yod. So what is the difference between 3 MSG of fixed form and infinitive imperative form, second person masculine singular, hirek yod? Can you see that? Can you see that? So now, but the most challenging part is infinitive construct. As you can see, the infinitive construct takes hirek yod as well. So what I'm saying is infinitive construct is identical to 3 MSG of fixed form. Is that clear? And then I told you before, there is a tendency that imperative form is quite similar to infinitive construct. But I told you that infinitive construct in the Hebrew stem tends to take hirek yod. So that is also helping for us to see the difference between imperative form and infinitive construct. But in terms of the appearance of infinitive construct and 3 MSG of fixed form, there is no difference, especially when it comes to the first yod verb Hebrew stem. So you gotta be careful. But based on the context, and then another clue that infinitive construct normally comes with a preposition will help you, and then the context will always help you to see the difference. Now, that's it. Now, looking at the participle form, we are dealing with first yod verb in terms of the Hebrew stem. Okay, are you following me? Okay, it's helping for you to have the clear map about all the form for first yod verb in the Hebrew stem. Okay, as I said, Hebrew participle form should come with the preformative mem. But again, praise the Lord, you have holem. Why? This is replaced by, the yod is replaced by holem. Is that clear? So it's not really challenging. Now, although we are dealing with a lot of exceptional case or the distinctive cases of weak verbs in terms of different forms, you can be familiar with those things. There is some similarity actually. So that's it. And if you understand this, then we are done today. One more time. First yod verb Hebrew. What do you expect? Let's start with a fixed form. Do not look at the do not look at it. Just let's try to remember what I just told you. Come on, look at me. Hebrew fixed, first yod verb. What do you expect? Come on.
Formative hey.
Yeah, preformative he together with what
Yeah.
verb?
Right.
Holem.
Holem. Come on. This is first yod verb. First yod
First
verb.
yod.
Right? We are not talking about the strong verb, but first yod verb. So preformative he and holem. Why? The yod will be replaced by holem. Where? In the Hebrew stem. Is that clear? And then what is the secondary clue for the affixed form?
Hirek yod
Hirek
between
yod.
second and third
Hirek
root.
yod, yes. Only for the third persons. Okay, in affixed form. Don't be confused with prefix form. In the prefix form, hirek yod will appear except 3 FPL, 2 FPL. Is that clear? And what do you expect? In the prefix form, of course, number one, you will have a prefix pronoun. And you are going to have the specific vowel point. What is it? Again, that's gonna be holem. Are you following me? Holem. But what is the most typical vowel point for the strong verb in the Hebrew stem? In case of a prefix form, patah, yod, patah, tav, patah. The preformative hair will be dropped. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. And then we are moving to the first yod verb, and we don't expect patah because this is first yod verb. Then we need to have another vowel point, which is holem plene, because the yod will be replaced by holem plene. Okay, this is what is appearing in today's lesson. Is that clear? So the secondary clue, always remember this, that secondary clue, the presence of hidden yod will be appearing in most PGN except 3FPL, 2FPL. Okay? And then, what did you talk about? All right. Imperative form, infinitive construct. So imperative form will come with ho again, like affix form. Ho will come. But the difference between 3MSG affix form and imperative form is what? Hirek yod. Hirek yod will come only for 3MSG affix form. Are you following me? Okay, please take a look at your verb chart again. Let me share it again. One more time. We are talking about first yod verb, he feel. We have preformative ho for a fixed form, and I want you to pay attention to hirek yod for third persons. For the prefix form, we are going to have all those prefix pronoun in the beginning, but the vowel point is not patah, but holem plene. And most of the time you will see hirek yod, except na ending, which is 3 FPL, 2 FPL. Okay, but prefix form is not really that difficult to analyze. Why? Because I told you it comes with prefix pronoun, so it's very obvious in terms of a form. But what is challenging is the distinction between 3MSG affix form and imperative infinitive control. Even talking about the other PGN, 3F affix, 2M affix, 2FSM, SG, 2FS affix form, it's not really that confusing. Why? Because of the specific ending, a, ta, t, ti, u, tem, tem, nu. So looking at those endings, you will be able to see, oh, it looks like a fixed pronoun. Then you can start with this possibility. But looking at 3MS suffix form, you will not be able to see anything at the end. That's why it's always confusing. Okay? So then whenever you study a new lesson, then you need to pay a great deal of attention to the difference between 3MSG affix form with and imperative and infinitive construct. When I say imperative, of course, I refer to 2MSG. Why? Because 2FSG, 2MPL, they will take their own specific ending like E, U, Na. So those, 2FSG, 2MPL, 2FPL, they are not really as confusing as 2MSG. So the question is always 3MSG affix form and 2MSG imperative and infinitive construct. So if you pay attention to the difference between them, then it will help you. Are you following me? Okay, so now after prefix form, you have imperative. Imperative will take preformative ho. Ho, ho, ho. But let me ask you this question again. Then look at 2MSG imperative. It takes whole. And looking at it, then you will say, oh, I know this one. This one should be first yod verb, hifil. But you may end up recognizing as 3ms suffix. But that's wrong. Why? 3ms suffix form will take hirek yod between the second and the third. Do you understand what I'm saying? But in terms of the appearance, infinitive construct form is identical to 3ms suffix. That's it. Okay. Let's come back to the lesson. Okay, I think we are ready to deal with this today. Let me move on very quickly, and at the end we are going to have some exercise, and it's going to be a really great help for us to do. If in terms of practice, let's do this. Okay. Jim, can you recognize a verb?
Sir, the first one should be the verb.
Right, good job. Why do you think that is the verb?
Because I thought it was prefix. Or
Prefix of aleph, you couldn't recognize it, and then anything else?
Yeah.
You can say that this is about receiver too, because the aleph is a guttural, so you cannot take dagesh forte. So pata actually gets lengthened to commit. Okay, so you did a good job. Then Jim, continue to analyze it. What?
It
verb?
should be yatsa.
Yatsa. How did you know that?
Because of the vowel pointing there, prefix the whole.
Holem, because holem used to be the yod long time ago, especially not always, only in a specific stem. Which stem is this for?
Hifil.
Hifil. Good job. Hifil. What about then form?
So prefix.
Right, as you said, aleph in the beginning indicates prefix form, and PGN.
First person singular.
Common, singular.
Singular.
And then special feature.
You said it's verb conversive, but
right. I said, but what?
I don't know, sir. I did not recognize.
Oh yeah,
that
sure. But
conversive.
this time is important for you to be familiar with what I said. Okay. And
Yes, sir.
meaning.
Go for.
Okay, but don't forget to put subject together with verb conversive. So need to start with and the one CSG refers to what specific subject? One CSG.
First person. I.
Yeah, I. And then you said yatsa in the hifil. It's a go force in the car. So being I'm sorry?
Bring forth. Bring forth.
Yes, right. Bring force. So cause somebody to go force means bring force. So what about the tense then, Jim?
Sir, it's causing someone to do that. It's,
right. What about the tense?
Is it past tense?
Yes, right. So you can choose.
So brought forth.
Yes. So you can say I caused someone to go force, or if you want to just reflect on the hidden meaning immediately without the usage of causing, then you can say, and I brought forth. Okay, so I'm going to just put brought forth. Is that clear? Do you have any question? Okay, everything is clear, right? And told you, when you have a Hebrew form, it's most likely you are going to have an objective following DDO, because you need something to cause. Am I right? So the action is falling into this. So the NI caused this to do this. That is the idea of Hebrew stem. Okay, so then in order for us to have the causative meaning, then let's put it this. What is this? About cam. So this one is bridgy. Okay, and then cam is pronominal suffix indicating to to MPL, right? Okay, so then what about abot? What is this? Abot.
Fathers.
Fathers.
Father.
It's a irregular change of ab. But anyway, it's abot is fathers. What kind of fathers? Your fathers. Okay, this is Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim is Egypt. And what about me together with Dagesh? It's assimilation.
From.
Min. The preposition min, but nun is assimilated. So min Mitzrayim from Egypt. So that's it. What is our final translation? Jim?
And I brought your father from Egypt.
We are done today. We are done. I know, not easy, Hebrew2, but don't be scared, you know, as if this level will be continued. No, sometimes it's getting easier and sometimes it's getting harder, but once again, don't give up. Just hang in there, okay? Let's move on to highlight each slide. Okay, the second PowerPoint slides is about the comparison between strong verb and first unit verb of the prefix form. It's not really proper for us to compare Hebrew stem to the Ka stem because they will take different indicators. So the question is, after learning the first, always start from strong verb, dealing with them under a specific stem, like the Hebrew stem. So we're talking about Hebrew. So now we are looking at the comparison between first unit verb prefix Hebrew and the strong verb prefix Hebrew. Okay, so you are supposed to know already this one. As we discussed this morning, before we start the class, the indicator of Hebrew prefix form must be for the strong verb, pata, under the prefix pronoun, and the hirek yod only for the third persons. Looking at Hebrew prefix form, we will not have pata because the yod, first root letter yod, yashab, yod will be replaced by holem. So if you see holem right after the prefix pronoun, then always think about what? First yod verb possibility in the Hebrew stem. Is that clear? So we have prefix pronoun yod tab aleph, yod tab nun together with holem. And praise the Lord in the prefix form. Oh, okay, it's a prefix form. I got confused with a fixed form. Only third person will take hirek yod in the fixed form. but now it's a prefix form. So most of PGN will take hirek yod, except 3 FPL, 2 FPL. Okay, so what do you need to remember here? Preformative, ho. Okay, do not say just the he, together with holem planet. So we are going to say preformative, ho. And then hirek yod between second and the third letters, except 3 FPL, 2 FPL. Okay, any question? Let's move on. So holem after a prefix pronoun, diagnostic of Hebrew prefix, first yod verb. The yod verbs were originally first verb. So the yod in the first root position has been replaced with plane holem. The prefix pronouns are identical to strong verbs, but there is no pata under the prefix pronouns. hirek plane in every form except the 3 FPL and 2 FPL. Okay, does it sound new? No. So we are done with this. We are done with this. So I brought your fathers out of Egypt, or I brought your fathers from Egypt. NIV, when I brought your fathers out of Egypt. KJV, then I brought your fathers out of Egypt. So how come is that we can have when instead of and? Sometimes it happens because the verb, conjunction verb even can function as when, but it's not really common. So it's not really proper for us to put verb as and all the time. Sometimes it could be but, right? In Hebrew2, so make more room for other possibilities. Let me move on. So then let's do this. Actually, as I told you, what is the preformative for participle form in the Hebrew stem, especially for the strong verb, not weak verb. And as I said, you need to know it'll take preformative mem, and the vowel pointing is going to be pata. See, mem is related to participle form. Pata is related to Hebrew stem. So we know the stem and we know the form. Okay, that's for strong verb. But what about first yod verb? Then we are going to have preformative mem, and the yod will be replaced by plane, holem plane. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. And then the endings. Participle ending will take a, im, ot. All right. Let me move on. But look at this. Kyle strong verb. Do you remember holem? So that is the most important indicator. But just working for Kyle stem. But in the Hebrew stem, it doesn't work. So we need to deal with another indicator in the Hebrew. What are they? Preformative mem in the Hebrew stem. Is it clear? Okay, let's move on. I know you can understand what I'm saying, but what you need is exercise. Okay, we will do it. So diagnostic of Hebrew participle strong verb. Ma, preformative in every form. Plane hirek under the second root consonant. Let's go back to the participle form. Apart from preformative ma, we have hirek yod. Even in the first yod verb, hirek yod. So let me tell you this. Do you remember? It's not a good idea for us to understand, like, if we have the Hebrew stem, then we need to have preformative he and the hirek yod all the time. It doesn't work. Why? Because in the affixed form, only third persons will take hirek yod. So you are not supposed to memorize it that way. But this idea still works. If you see hirek yod between second and third, it's most likely you have the hifel stem. You cannot say hifel stem will always have a hirek yod. But this idea works. If you have a hirek yod, then that means most likely hifel stem. But you gotta be careful with the third head verb, because the third head verb, when it is attached to another component at the end, then hirek yod he will disappear, and then it will be replaced by yod. Just go to the lesson, previous lesson for the third head verb, and you will see. I don't know which is or which lesson it was, but I'm trying to tell you all the confusing part, because it's not only hifel stem taking hirek yod, but the Carl Strong verb hirek, the third head verb, can even take yod. Okay, so that's another part, but do not too much pay attention to it right now. So what is important is preformative ma is working for hifel participle form, and then mo is gonna be for the first yod verb hifel participle. Okay, hifel imperatives. Let's look at this. What is the most expected preformative in the hifel stem? Imperative. We talk about this. Ha, preformative, ha. Okay, ha. And then we need to deal with these comets. And whenever I'm going to talk about comets, hifel imperative form, I will remember Pierce's question. So we have comets and he. So this one is just for hollow verb. Do you remember this? Okay. In case of hollow verb imperative, it will take ha. But in case of first yod verb, it will take ho. The question is, okay, 2 FSG, 2 MPL, 2 FPL, they have iuna ending. So they have a specific ending. So you will easily recognize them as imperative form, because iuna ending are for imperative form without prefix pronoun. Because iuna ending is what? They are coming from prefix form. Do you remember this? Imperative form, we get this one from prefix form after removing the prefix pronoun. That's why these iuna endings are also appearing in the prefix form. So looking at iuna ending, you need to come up with the two possibilities. Or is it imperative and prefix form? But they cannot be confused at all. Why? Because in case of prefix form, it will take a prefix pronoun in the beginning. Are you following me? Okay. All right. So then the question is always second person masculine singular and 3 MSG affixed form. That is the challenging part. And how are we going to see the difference between them? 3 MSG affixed form will take hirek yod between the second and the third. How many times have I emphasized this one today? 4 times, 5 times? Please remember this. Let me move on. Now, let's do this. Maybe next one is much easier. And let's finish this one and let's come back to the previous one. Okay. All right. Let's do this. What can you see?
Verb conversive.
Verb conversive, and then what? Okay, pay attention to the stem and form. Okay, only 2 aspects and the root letters. Let's start with the stem. Stem. What stem do we have? Hifel. Why?
Holem and hirek.
Hilem Prene. And yes, it's good that Pierce recognized this hirek. Actually, the expected form is hirek yod without verb conversive. But when the prefix form is attached to a verb conversive, and shortening will take place. So hirek yod becomes either hirek or tere or segol. Do you remember 1, 2, 3? Okay, so when it is coming together with the verb conversive, then shortening is expected. It's a good job. So this one is actually works for that way. He feel and then form. Very obvious form.
Prefix.
Prefix because of the yod. Okay, prefix. And then what about the root letter?
Jasna.
Yatza. Okay, because the whole lamp indicates for first yod verb. What about this one? Stem?
Ifil.
Feel. Good job. Because of holem and hirek yod. What about form?
Prefix.
Prefix. Good job. And then root letter?
Yada.
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 All right, good job. What about this?
This is
Stem?
Ifil.
stem
Do you think
cow.
this is a sorry?
Cow.
Cow. Okay. And then
Affix.
affix. Good job.
Mhm.
And then
Nun tav hey.
nadan, right? Is it he?
Hey.
Nadan. It's natan.
Really?
It's
Okay.
natan.
How about the spirit yoke?
This
Okay.
is the affix ending. A, ta, tu, ti, u, tem, ten, nu. Affix form. Oh, now
Okay.
it's
Okay.
confusing, I know. But T ending is, you must be familiar with this ending. That indicates what? 1CSG affix form. A, ta, tu, ti, u, tem, ten, nu. Okay. And then because of this nun attached to the top, that's why it's assimilated. So I know nadan is quite confusing because the nun, two nun sounds will tend to be dropped. So you need to be familiar with tab nun or nun tab. Looking at only two components, you need to be able to recognize it as natan. So when you are dealing with a weak verb, please try to remove the weak sound and then try to be familiar with the two remaining strong sounds. Because many times you will not be able to see the weak sound in the sentence. So when you memorize your vocabulary, if you are dealing with the weak verbs, then please take out the sound and then try to be familiar with those two sounds. Then it'll help. Let's move on. What about this? Very, yeah, he feel.
He feel.
Go ahead. Prefix.
Prefix.
And
Yashev.
yeah, good job. What about this?
He feel.
He feel. Why? Preformative.
This is Holem Vav.
Okay, sure. What about then form? This is a bit challenging, huh? Don't be confused. If you cannot see anything from the beginning at the end, always think about 3MSG of fixed form. And then the second possibility, imperative form. The third possibility is infinitive construct. Okay, so think about those possibilities. Okay, that's why I need to highlight this many times today. How are you going to see the form? You see hirek yod. Then this one indicates what? 3MSG of fixed form. But you need to include infinitive construct too, because infinitive construct will take hirek yod as well, but not imperative form. Imperative form will not take hirek yod. That's the point. Then, if you need to choose between these two, It's most likely 3ms suffix form, because 3ms suffix form is the most commonly used form. But I don't want to ignore the possibility of infinitive construct. So you need to really look at the secondary clues to determine, and then the context will help you. Is that clear? Let's move on. Then let's just put a fixed form together with infinitive construct, and then root letters are yod,
Yod,
lamed.
Lamed, Dalet,
Okay, yeah, lad.
Yalad.
Okay, what about this?
Hefil,
Ifil, right?
prefix,
Prefix.
Yada,
Yes, your first yod bob. This whole name indicates the yod, and the here yod is a secondary clue. What about this? Looks like verb
Yes,
conversive. Verb conversive and together with prefix pronoun. Then your question is, what is this? And we
This.
have tsere. So what stem is this? Can it be PL? Can it be hifil? It cannot be PL because we don't have dagesh porte. It cannot be hifil because we don't have pata under the prefix pronoun. Now
So
it
this is
works that
cow.
way. So should be
Cow.
car. Now you're understanding things. And what about then form?
Prefix,
Prefix. Okay. And this one?
Yalat,
Yalad. And this one is what? Missing letter ru. Sere indicates for first yod bob. Move on. Is it Kal or Pierre or Hifil?
Yeah.
cow.
I think.
Okay. Could it be either Kal or Hifil? But if this one is Hifil, then we need to have what? The preformative hair. Because this one is what? Verb conjunction. It's not verb conversive. So just take it out as if you don't have anything. And then look at those only 4 components. And what do you have?
Is it a verb conjunction or verb reversive?
Oh, yeah, I think it's verb reversive and verb conjunction together. But it's a fixed form, then it's verb reversive. But anyway, I'm trying to say it's not verb conversive. So now, what kind of form can take u and ding?
Affix 3 CPL,
Okay, 3 Sylphia affix. Then let's start with Carl affix, and then Yarash. Do you have any objection for this? After removing Vav and Yarash, and Kamets is the most expected form for a field strong verb. Ka'al. Do you remember this? So Kamets and Pata. So it works that way. So we don't have any other possibilities. So this is Kar affix Yarash. Move on.
this is Hefil,
Are you following me? It's a Hifil?
Yes.
Okay. Why? Because of Holem. Plan
Holem,
after the prefix pronoun. So
yeah.
this one prefix.
prefix,
And then Hirek Yod is
Yalat.
secondary kulu for Hirek, Hifil. And this one is first Yod
Yalat.
verb. Yalat. Okay. What about this? It's one more time,
Hifil.
Holem. So must be Hifil together with
Hifil.
Hirek Yod. And then prefix pronoun, so prefix. And this one is Yatsa. Actually, this one is not really that difficult. You must know how to do this. Let's go back to the previous slide, and that is a bit challenging. Let's do this, but you can do it. Forget about this. We will come back to this one. This is quite a challenging part. Let's start with this. Okay, the same. We are going to analyze from stem, form, and root letters. Stem.
If you
Why?
put under the tongue.
Period.
Pata under the
Period.
prefix pronoun should be the number one indicator. And then the secondary clue is 히렉요. So 히필. And then what about form?
Prefix.
Yes,
Prefix.
because of tav. And then this is pakat. Okay, let's finish this one.
If you
He-feel.
Why?
he
Hey.
Yeah,
And
pre-formative
Hirek.
he.
Hey.
and here you.
This
히렉요.
is. Yeah,
Okay,
Hirek,
then-
This is
Right.
affix.
Okay. This is affix. Why do you think this is affix?
Who
U, e, u, na ending, is that? Atatiti, u, temtenu. And this one takes dageshi forte, assimilation. So this one is first number.
Nafal.
Napal.
Nafal.
And then what about PGN? 3
3
CPL.
CPL.
CPL, U
CPL.
ending. Okay? Are you following us? So Nafal. Okay, this one.
If you
This is
Why?
He-feel.
If you
The
see
whole in-
ho,
Hey.
then think about hifil first yod. And what about form?
affix.
In order for this one to be affixed, then you need to have a hirek yod, because then there must be 3 MSG of fixed form. So see, I told you this is the most challenging and
Imperative.
tricky part. So I told you what is the difference between 3 MSG of fixed form and imperative form. Hirek yod between the second and third. Are you following me? Okay, I'm going to repeat it. And no. Just yeah, be familiar with it. So then in this case, it cannot be 3 MSG of fixed form because of the absence of hirek yod. So then this one is imperative form. It's not even infinitive construct. Okay. And what about then root letter?
Yashav.
Yasha. Yasha. Yeah, you're doing a good job. Come on.
This
If you
is
You feel?
yeah
Nafal.
prefix.
He-feel.
Prefix.
Prefix.
Because of yod, pata, hirek. And what
Abar.
about then root letters? Abar.
Ayin vet resh.
Yes. And let's do this. What is this? This is a bit challenging. Let me ask you this question. What kind of thing can take he and then compose shua?
Uh,
Hello, Bob.
Affix.
That hello, Bob. Hello, Bob. What form?
Affix.
Affix. And there is another one that can take this ha compose shua. What is it?
Interrogative है.
Ah,
Yes, interrogative he. Now you remember everything, right? So if you have this he and the composite pata, then think about 2 possibilities. Number 1, as you said, hello Bob of fixed form and interrogative he. And how do you see the difference between them? Just to see if this is a hello Bob. Do you see anything? This is a shrew. Have you memorized the hello Bob shrew? Shrew?
depart.
Not yet. Yeah. So,
Depart.
but anyway, if you don't know, even though you don't know the word, you can still work out, because the hello Bob in the affixed form will. Let's go to hello Bob chart, and it'll help you. Let's take a look at it. I think hello Bob part is quite confusing. Let me, wait a minute. Okay, so then this is first yod bob and go down page here. 440 and 41. 40 is all about Kal. Then let's go to 41. 441. Here, the question is all about Hifil. So Hifil of fixed form will take Zere. Are you following me? Okay. But it's important for us to remember this. Hirek Yod will be appearing all the time. One more time. Hirek Yod will appear all the time, unlike other verbs. Because in other verbs, Hirek Yod only appears for third persons in affix. Do you remember this? But you need to remember this. The second root letter is replaced by Hirek Yod. That's why Hirek Yod must be there for the hollow verb. Okay? And then composite pata, shua and pata, composite shua. So they are the indicators of a fixed form. And then I think this is what the T ending, T ending is there. And what about then prefix form? The most expected Hifil pata. Do you remember? We are expecting pata under the prefix pronoun in the Hifil stem. But in Kal, pata becomes kamets. See, kamets is a lengthening form of pata. So even preformative ma becomes kamets ma. I think this is what we have recognized. But anyway, we haven't dealt with this one so far. But anyway, just remember. And this is what we have dealt with before. So preformative he together with kamets is imperative form. And look at infinitive construct. It takes preformative ha, but the difference between imperative and infinitive construct is hirek yod for infinitive construct. Of course, Hifil form will take preformative mem in the participle, but it will appear together with the tsere for hollow verb. We haven't talked about this, but just for information, let's go back to today's lesson again. And we are dealing with what? Hoshia? Is that Hoshia?
The last one.
No. I think. Oh, yeah, the last one. So now, look at this. This one is Hirek Yod is for hollow verb affix. Do you remember this? Hirek Yod, the second component, the second root letter is replaced by Hirek Yod in the hollow verb Hifil stem. And then it comes together with composite shua, and T ending is the affix form. So now it falls exactly in the format of Hifil affix form. Okay, so this one indicates Hifil affix, and then T, atat T is the first common singular. And what about then the form? That's true. Let's move on. Let's do this. What stem? Hifil, because of he. And what kind of form can take zere under the he? Do you remember? We just studied this.
Oh, hollow verb.
Hollow verb. Hollow verb. And in what specific form?
Affix.
Affix. One more time. The expected vowel pointing is hirek. So the preformative he is expected. But in the hollow verbs, the preformative he will come together with zere and composite shua. Okay? All right. So this is a fixed form. And then see, the middle root letter is replaced by hirek yod all the time. Okay, for hollow vowel. So this one is kun, hollow vowel. What about this?
Participle.
Yes, you can see that this is a participle indicator. Which then the question is which stem? Then we need to think about how many possibilities. 4 in terms of stem, hifil, hofal, pl, puar. So now the question is between hifil and pl because we haven't talked about hofal and puar. So what stem do we have? What is it between
Hifil.
hifil or pl? Why this is hifil?
No dagesh.
No dagesh, and then the most important
It's
thing is
man pata.
pata under the preformative man. See, pata has a lot to do with hifil form. So this is hifil, participle,
Participle.
and then im ending, a, ot, im. So this one is 2mpl. And this hirek jod is the secondary clue for the hifil stem. So it's a kazak. Let me finish these 3, okay, quickly. What about this? You have he, free formative he. So very easy and straightforward.
Affix.
All right, so hifil, affix, and then a, ta, t, t. So ta ending indicates 2m singular.
P.
Affix frame, and then gadal. What about this? Mo is indicating what? Participle,
Participle.
and what's them? The whole name?
Hold on. Hifil.
Right, he feel and participle. Okay, and then the whole name should be yod. So then this one is yalad. And what kind of ending do we have? It's at, and that indicates what PGN in the participle. Actually, you know that R ending is masculine. I mean, second. No, feminine singular. It's a kamets and he. But this at ending can be used together with a ending. So it indicates feminine singular too. So this is a feminine, another form of feminine singular together with a. Okay, last one. This one is quite challenging. What can you see? In terms of whole, then we know what is for sure is the stem. What stem do we have?
Hifil.
Ifil. But be careful with the form. What form do we have? Ni ending. Are you familiar with the ni ending? Is there anything that is ending with ni? No. In terms of the indicators of different forms, we don't have ni ending. Ni is a separate component. It's just the pronominal suffix. Pronominal suffix ni, indicating what? First person, ni.
Common singular. First common singular, right?
First common singular ni. Type 2, I guess, or alternative form. So you need to take this out because this one is not related to any kind of form. So this is a hifil stem. Then take out this and then think about this. What form do you have? The question is always what? 3 MSG of fixed form? Imperative. Especially you cannot see anything. As I say, you can see ni ending at the end, but it's nothing. It has nothing to do with the form. Just take it out as if you have nothing. Then you don't have anything in the beginning and at the end. Then the question is always 3 MSG of fixed form, imperative, and infinitive construct. Do you think this is a fixed form or imperative form?
Imperative.
Imperative form. Amos, why do you think this is an imperative?
Because there's no like
Hirek.
the Hirek yod.
Hirek yod.
Yod.
If you are confused,
No Hirek yod here.
Right. If you are confused between 3ms suffix form in Hifil and imperative form, then go for the secondary clue. If you have Hirek yod, then that's a 3ms suffix form. But you need to be aware of under the possibility, because infinitive construct will also take Hirek yod. So in terms of a possibility, there are two. So it can be either 3MSG affix form, first yod verb, or infinitive construct. But it's most likely, I'm saying, no. If we have Hirek yod. So, but this one has no Hirek yod, then it must be imperative. All right, so this one is imperative form. And special feature is first common singular pronominal suffix. That's it. Whew. So we are done. It seems to be a bit easy when you are working on this together with your teacher. But if you have to do it by yourself, then it's becoming harder. But don't worry, we are going to spend more time for that. So what is our assignment, Teacher Elabaya?
We have page 166. Page 166, number 1, number 2, number 3, and then 9, 10, and 11.
Okay, do you have any question?
Sir, I have a question.
Okay, what is it?
Classroom exercise A part second. 히필로? Does this 다게시 포르테 why not PS stem?
Let me see. Lesson 33. I just closed the PowerPoint. Let me go back to it. So then that's the what? The PowerPoint, the slide that we just finished?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm opening it. Lesson 33. Let me go back to it. All right. So let me show you. Share the screen. So what is your question?
Yes, so the A part second. Yeah.
Second one, this one.
Yeah. 나팔.
Okay.
Yeah, have 다게시 포르테. Where have why not PS stem?
Okay, that's a good question. All right. You think this one is 다게시 포르테, but if you think this is assimilation, then you always need to prioritize assimilation. I think this is what I told you before in Hebrew 1. In fact, this one could be either, right? Assimilation, nun, or pia. But unfortunately, we cannot see the first component. So you think if this one is pia stem, then you think this one he must be the first root letter. Okay, but your vocabulary doesn't help that way because you have memorized he, pe, lamed. Instead, you are more familiar with napal. So number one, your vocabulary will help you, and then you have conflict between the assimilation and then PL, then prioritize assimilation. That is my answer. Okay?
Yeah.
Right. Another question? Okay. So thank you so much, and then gonna see you next week. Oh, it's Friday. So have a great weekend. Okay. Bye. Pierce.
Vocabulary quiz. Vocabulary quiz.
Sorry?
I'm sorry, Elabaya.
We have vocabulary quiz.
All right. Oh, I forgot. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
We have vocabulary quiz that is due on Tuesday.
All right. You will be able to see it on the Moodle. So go ahead and to take it anytime before the Tuesday class. Pierce and Samson, I want to talk with you just for 4 seconds. Okay? All right. So see you on Tuesday.
Thank you, sir. God bless.